Hey tubers, this is Abhishek for the Wheels and Chips, and in today's installment of the video we are going to be looking at a fantastic value for money motherboard from Asus that's called as the H81m-cs Motherboard. The complexity of choosing a motherboard cannot be easily described in words, and it just gets worse when looking for one in a very tight budget. The Asus H81m-cs is based on the LGA1150 socket, which means that you won't be able to use a Skylake processor with it. So if you're planning on buying a motherboard to go along with your Pentium D4400 or a Core i3-6100, you may as well scout for other motherboards. I mean, that's based on the LGA1151 motherboard, so this is not going to support those processors. This is a micro HX motherboard that's meant to be used with a 4th generation Haswell processor, and yes, it will support the Intel i7 4th generation as well. Haswell, I didn't really make that up. I mean, you can't really make that up. This motherboard features 2 DDR3 slots that can hold a maximum of 16 GB of RAM, which should be adequate for most purposes including extensive gaming and modest video editing. As long as you're not trying to add in a ton of layers and do a lot of graphically intensive stuff. I mean, GDDR RAM is important, but you know, DDR3 system RAM or DDR4 system RAM is also important in case you're going to add a ton of layers and do a ton of 3D rendering. So in that case you might want to look at a different board, but for pretty much most of the home usage this board is going to be enough. It also supports one PCIe 3.0 x 16 slot, which means that you can buy a really nice GPU to go along with your CPU. To put it simply, this board will also work well with something like the GTX 1060 or the 1070. The board has 2 SATA 6 Gbps ports which are colored in yellow, while the 2 SATA 3 Gbps ports are colored in dark brown to be identified easily. When it comes to the connectivity, the board offers Realtek ALC887, which is a freaking 8-channel high-definition audio codec, while offering 1 gigabit LAN controller to take care of the wired internet connections. Wired internet connections, I wonder who uses that in this generation. There are 2 USB 3.0 ports colored in blue on the rear side, along with the 2 USB 2.0 ports on the rear side as well. The board also features 4 USB 2.0 ports located on the other side, so there's a lot of ports on this budget board. So when it comes to connectivity, I don't think you're lacking pretty much anything, I'd say, except for the USB Type-C or the Thunderbolt port. Wow, that's like a tongue twister. Anyways, it's unfortunate that this board is only equipped with 1 VGA port. I mean, it's pretty limited in my opinion, but it's good to know that it can support up to 1920 into 1200 in resolution. That's pretty much into the Full HD territory. I'd even say that it's better than that because Full HD territory is like 1080p and this is like 1200p. So it's pretty much better than that, but I'd say it's okay if you're going to power just one display out of it, and you can't obviously power the second display because displays over USB suck. Anyways, if you're planning on powering 2 or higher displays or a display with a higher resolution, do yourself a favor and buy a discrete GPU to take the benefit of that PCIe slot lying in there if you're not going to be using it for SSDs or any other high-speed connection. This board also supports a ton of other features including GPU boost and UEFI BIOS. I mean, UEFI BIOS is a very user-friendly implementation of the otherwise intimidating bright blue BIOS setup, which most of us fear when we open it. To sum it up, we would call this a very good motherboard for the price, and if you're on a tight budget, you could definitely go for one of these. It costs around 3,600 rupees in India or around $55 in the United States. I'll be leaving the links in the description down below so that you can check them out. I mean, it's going to be affiliate link, and if you're going to click on that, we might get a small sum, sort of like 1 or 2% out of that, and that's kind of nice to get. Anyways, this is pretty much it for this video. Do give us a like if you enjoyed it and consider subscribing and sharing this video if you think we make good content and we sort of deserve it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, this is Abhishek signing up. You guys have a fantastic day or night depending on wherever you are and when you're watching this video. Thank you so much guys. Bye bye.